Welcome back to my Tuesday toy reviews. Now, since Kingdom is right around the corner, I believe it is coming out sometime next month. We don't know exactly when yet. I thought I'd take a look at some of the Kingdom figures, which will hopefully, their characters will hopefully be showing up in the cartoon. But yes, as voted by you, we are starting off with the boss monkey himself, Big Bot, aka Optimus Primal. So right now I have him in his kind of crawling gorilla mode. I think this is the correct configuration. I'm not exactly sure because there is like a double joint in the legs here. But yes, you can have him kind of crawling around on all fours like a, normal gorilla. And he does look more like a actual gorilla, if it'll focus on his face and stuff here, than he does the original Beast Wars cartoon. So I'm guessing this is how he'll look in the Kingdom cartoon if he does show up, which, I mean, come on, he's Optimus Primal. But yes, he can look side to side a little bit in his, gorilla mode here. And of course, he has all the same articulation. He has this like kind of butterfly joint here in his shoulder, and he also has his regular shoulder joint. So he has a lot of shoulder articulation. He has his elbow here. He has a bicep swivel, but of course, if you rotate it too far, you see the robot bits. And of course, he has his wrist, if you'll focus, and his little hands can open and close. Although, I don't know what that's for. I think it's more for the gorilla mode, because I think gorillas actually walk on their knuckles, not on their, closed fists. So, maybe it's for that. But, yeah, there he is in his gorilla mode. Excuse me. He can also, and I think this is the way you're supposed to do it, because you can just, extend his legs like that, but that's more for robot mode. But there is this double joint in here, and I think what you're supposed to do is kind of like bend it like this, so he's kind of like got the chicken leg going on, and then just keep going like that, and then do that on the other side here. If we can keep it in focus, in camera. So there, it's a little disjointed, but I think that is how you're supposed to do his standing mode. And I'll raise the camera here for you. And there. Okay. So there, and obviously you can tilt his head down. But I think this is how you're supposed to do his standing mode, which he often did in the cartoon. He would often stand up straight, kind of like I think a normal gorilla can do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not sure if this weird, because it does almost join up with, he has this like weird crotch flap thing, which I guess is to cover up the robot mode non-butt. He just kind of has like this plug here that's not used for anything. Maybe it's for like a fossilizer thing. Now he looks at him, he's like, why are you looking at my crotch? But yeah, anyways, he has this kind of like fur loincloth thing going on in the front there. But yeah, that is his gorilla mode. He can, if we have the swords, obviously he can hold the swords in his hands because they are, we can get it in there with, okay. There. Obviously he can hold his swords in his hands because they are the same hands in robot mode. But you can also, we can take it out now. We can take his swords, and there's these little pegs on the side of them, and they just go into these holes here. So they can store in his beast mode. They're not, concealed or anything, but you can't store them in his beast mode. So that's that. Now, let's get on to the transformation, and we got to take the swords off, because you may be able to transform them with the swords if you're careful, but we're doing a review, so careful is not the name of the game here. So we're kind of going to undo this. And there is this tab, if I can, on here, there's a tab here. And there is, if it'll focus, there is like a slot up here that tab is supposed to go into, and it does go into it, but it just does not stay, because when you try and bend the knee, it bends on this joint instead of this joint, which I think it's intended to bend on when in robot mode. But anyways, we will transform his feet, just flip out his little toe, and here, there was like a, you did flip this around on the original toy, but they, I guess, transformed that out or engineered that out. That's what it's called. So yeah, flip down the toe, and then we can arrange his knee. This joint is very stiff. That's probably why it won't just. So you're gonna kind of guide it. Kind of have to hold it in place here if you want it to bend where it's supposed to. Also, and yeah, there is a rotation here. I don't know what it's used for, but there is a rotation there. So in case I forgot to mention that when we get to the articulation. So we lift up his butt flap from gorilla mode, turn it around 360, and then we just peg this peg into here, and it kind of, yeah, it goes in pretty well if you have it lined up right. So we once again flip up his little crotch flap, and then rotate his waist around, and we might need to get his arms out of the way a little bit, and then just line that up the other way, and then you can just close that however you like. And then that's the bottom half of him done. And then for the arms, we basically just lift up his shoulder pads. If they'll come up, there we go. I think they do kind of click into place. Or maybe they're just caught on something. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So there's the shoulder pads. So that's basically his arms done. Because now you can see the arm detail on the side there. And then the final bit, which is a little scary, is you kind of have to open his back here. And it is very, okay, it seems to get easier with time. But there is like, there's these holes here. I can't really see, it's too dark. But they are supposed to, I guess, peg in somewhere down here, but it is very difficult to get this open. Requires a scary bit of force. But yeah, anyways, we just flip this around. It doesn't quite line up down here, and when we have him fully transformed up here, I feel like there should have been like another part where this like pushed in or something, like maybe pushed like in and down a little bit, but oh well. So for the robot mode heads, we simply rotate that around, make sure his head is all square and down, and then the annoying part is, for one thing, getting these out, because these, if you don't get them out now, if I can show it on camera, if you don't get them out now, you then have to do the whole opening his back thing, which I just said was very difficult because of the force required. So let's get his little shoulder cannons out now, and then we basically just push his head back there, and then we can hopefully, oh, I think, are we supposed to, no, it doesn't rotate. I don't think, no. He is supposed to go in here. No? What am I doing wrong here? I'm doing something wrong, I know it. Alright, let's transform this way. Then, does he go, oh, I know. He goes this way, you gotta transform the beast head this way. I knew you had to flip one of the heads around. Okay, then like that. And then like that. And you close up his chest, yeah, okay. So that's how we do that. And there we have Optimus Primal in robot mode. Looking very awesome. Let's see if we can get him all in shot here. There we go. Optimus Primal looking very much like the original Beast Wars cartoon model. I mean, he's like a lot of the Kingdom figures. He is basically a mini masterpiece, and yeah, you can't go wrong there. So yeah, so obviously he has like ankle tilts, and I like how he has these little piston things on his legs, very much like the original. But yeah, basically, all your usual articulation. He has a little bit of a swivel up here, but it's restricted by the sculpt. All the same articulation he had in robot mode. And of course, his head can like look around and stuff. So, as you do. So you can flip down his cannons if you wish. Sadly, they cannot flip any far back than that. It would have been nice to be able to store them that way, which I believe you can do on the Masterpiece. I should have grabbed the Masterpiece before I started this review, but oh well. So, features. We have on his arm here, you can see the panel. And then if you look, we can show it in focus. There's this little part here. And if you push in on that, it'll free up this piece, which you can bring out the rest of the way. I think that's the rest of the way. And that can angle a little bit to your liking. But that basically gives us his arm blasters that he had in the show. Different from the original toy. The original toy, I believe, just had the one arm blaster, and it like flipped open. His like arms split open, and it had like a big double blaster. But obviously, they went a little different in the show, and this is a little more accurate to that. Not as accurate, obviously, as the Masterpiece. And over on this side, you can do the same thing. So you can take the arm blaster out, and now he has both of his arm blasters that he had in the show. In the original toy, this was where he kept his mace, but he doesn't have his mace in this toy, obviously. But there is the fossilizer, the T-Rex one. I forget what the name is, but basically he comes with his mace. Unfortunately, I don't have that toy, so I cannot show that off to you. So yeah, that is his blasters. He did his cannons. And the only thing left is obviously his swords. Again, you can still store them in this mode. These ports are not blocked off or anything. But basically you take the swords and you stick them in his hands. Stick them in his hands right there. And then stick them in his hands right there. And there we go. He's holding both his swords. It's a little, I'm not sure, it's a little controversial which way he's supposed to hold his swords, because I think he holds them both in both directions in the show, like whether it's this way or that way. I think this way is more official, I guess, because like it does have this little guard thing here, which I'm guessing is supposed to be, like a guard like they have on swords. But it is weird that like it's curved the opposite way. I don't care. I just usually like to have it like that, so it's more like a scimitar or whatever. But yeah, he is very awesome. There was one more thing I wanted to show. What was it? I don't know. I'm blanking now. I don't know. He has, waist articulation. What am I thinking? What am I missing? There's something about him. What? Now I can't remember. Well, I guess I'm just going to call it quits, because I cannot for the life of me remember what was the other thing I wanted to show off on him. Oh, that's it. Okay. I remember now. Okay. So, speaking of the original toy, you can take his, if you do it correctly, I believe, you have to like, we can show it on camera. You have to have like the one sword out a little bit, and then you can do it. I know you can do it because I did it before. Okay. Maybe he just holds it. He just hold it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he just holds it. So you kind of have to have this one out a lot more than the other one, but he can do the double sword thing that he had in the, I think only in the instructions. I don't think he ever used this mode in the cartoon. And I think, yeah, this is supposed to be the other way around. So they match. Of course, you can do them the other way. But yeah, there we go. He can do his like double sword thing. And is it going to... Yeah, you can't even show it. It's so long. But yeah, he can do his like Darth Maul double sword thing. So yeah, there is Optimus Primal from Kingdom. Hopefully he shows up in the show. But yeah, there he is. Highly recommended. Go out and get him. Beast, not Beast Wars. Well, he is from Beast Wars, but this is the Kingdom Optimus Primal. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Tuesday toy reviews and Transformers reviews and all that fun stuff.